Here's Adam. So, good body position. Your hips and legs are riding high in the water. Head position is good. Pretty smooth when you turn to breathe, so not lifting up and out. Forward extension is good. At the moment here you are extending sort of directly in front of your head. Generally you want to reach in front of your shoulder, so your left arm reaches in front of your left shoulder, right arm reaches in front of your right shoulder. The reason being, when you start the pull, that's going to be a stronger starting point for the pull. But smoothness-wise, streamline-wise, look pretty good here. So we'll talk about the underwater and the underwater section. Okay, so what's going on with your stroke is that you're sliding your elbow back, or it's called an elbow slip, meaning your hand and your forearm are not going vertical in the water early in the stroke, if at all in the stroke. It might be happening later in the stroke. And the hand and forearm is where you really get your traction, or your grab, your pull on the water. So you imagine, if you imagine directional arrows coming off your hand and forearm, for a lot of the stroke they're pointing down, meaning you're just not using the power that you have to pull yourself forward. It's being misdirected or not fully utilized. That's really the main critique here. So two things for you to work on. Reach directly in front of your shoulder, and part two, improve the catch. So you want to work on the high elbow catch, early vertical forearm, and that's best done doing one arm drill, where you focus on reaching forward, internally rotating your shoulder, and then as early as possible in the stroke, your hand and forearm go vertical to the bottom of the pool, meaning that the arrows that are coming off that hand and forearm are going to be pointed backwards as quickly as possible. So here you can see where your hands sort of go in front of your head. You have a little bit of pull going under your body, so you're probably pulling more than you need to under your body, but it's not that bad as far as that goes. Moving your hands out at the start will probably help with that. You don't want the hand to cross over the midline at any point, either at the front of the stroke or as you pull through the stroke. So, looking at your right arm, your reach forward extension is good. Just extend in front of the shoulder again. And then as you start you're going to start the pull in a second here. You got maybe a little more of a glide than you need to on this side. Good rotation to the side, that's fine. But each frame is about 1/10 of a second, so you glided for 4/10 of a second or so. And then you start the pull. Imagining the directional arrows, they're still mostly down, and then focusing on hand and forearm here, still mostly down, some back. But at this point, you would want that hand and forearm to be straight up and down in the water. So you're just not getting the traction that you should. So later in the stroke, on the finish of the stroke, you get the proper position. But the front part of the stroke is really where you get the most power, because that's when you're able to use your lats in the stroke. Same thing on this side. Good extension, rotation, no problems there. And then as you start the stroke, hand and forearm still just more parallel to the bottom of the pool than perpendicular. Pulling under your body slightly. Again, you'd want the hand and forearm straight up and down at this point, and then pulling through here. So you're probably using more bicep and pec muscle when you're pulling than you are using tricep and lats, and you want to switch the pulling efforts to your back as much as possible. Hope that helps.